You're watching Chillmonger. The Marvel starts with all of them switching places. You don't have to see Secret Invasion. Monica and Carol have a beef with each other, but they didn't know that back in the past, between that 5-year period, Monica was blipped, but Maria Rambeau was dying, and all of a sudden Carol visited her. All of a sudden, they become friends. Now, Kamala's family, they get attacked because they're all switching. They don't know that their photon blast is activating her hard light, which activates her ability to see light, and then they switch places, and every time they switch places, somebody goes from the... I can't do it. This was a fast-paced movie. Rapido. So much happened so quickly, with Monica every now and again explaining the science of it. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie, flaws and all. End credit scene was excellent, of course. But I was in there going, you know what it needs is like 15 more minutes. It needs time to sit. That whole we're a team was cool. The girl power stuff I noticed, and I wasn't into the I wasn't educated about manosphere type stuff, red pill. I wasn't indoctrinated into that during the first movie. So when people said, I'm just a girl is playing, this is terrible, or he asked her, hey, give me a smile, that stuff, it never hit me with, oh, they're doing this agenda, women driven stuff. I've been on YouTube for a long time now, for all 4 years. And I noticed them including stuff like, let's play hopscotch, not hopscotch, what's the other one? Skipping rope, which is a very common thing for girls to do, double dutch and whatnot. And they featured that in the scene when they were all trying to practice switching and see coordination. Genius. You know, there was a lot of... You remember how that scene in Endgame had the women show up and they were all walking? And I was sitting there wondering, oh, okay, that's not cute. Like the first 3, when it was just Wanda, don't worry, she's got help. Okoye was there. Maybe it was the Wasp, but there was like a 4th one. Pepper Potts. I went, oh, cool, yeah, all right. And they all happened to be women, right? That was cool. But then every woman started showing up, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense because you're supposed to be fighting with him, and you're supposed to be on good terms with him, and I'll be more specific, just so you may be new here. Ant-Man and the Wasp are a tag team; they're a tandem. She needed to be protecting the van where Scott was. The next person would be Okoye and Shuri. They're part of the King's Guard, right? To protect the king, fight with other Dora Milaje. So it's illogical for them to be out of position also. Where Wanda was isn't where she was supposed to be because she was next to Thanos when he was doing the rain fire thing, right? Every person, I could find a reason why they're not together. Pepper with Tony. Well, maybe they don't have a history of fighting together, so that one could be. But there was a lot of questions I had to ask. As the Asgardian, where the hell was Valkyrie? I mean, where's all your other Valkyrie or Asgardian people? You should be doing defensive positions with them. That's your army. She was in this movie, though. And I never asked that question of what was she doing here? What? Everything had a plot. Kate Bishop, I know why she was part of it. It was great. There was one girly moment. I think it was when Muniba, the mother of Kamala Khan, jumped on Yusuf, the father of Kamala Khan. And it was one of those things that shows you that a woman would protect her man. It's not always the man protecting the woman. And I can see people being angered by that. Oh, look at that little... talking about the dad, right? Like they cut the balls off from under him. I could see that. But, the first one didn't really bug me. This one doesn't bug me either. There was a fight scene where there was no music playing. I was expecting I'm Just a Girl to play or something. And maybe that was pulled into editing. And that was cut. The fight scene towards the ending. The combinations were great. I was watching and I'm like, I like this. Now, here's the thing though. With the abilities that Kamala displayed, I don't think she would be like a hopeless kind of, oh, I'm falling, I'm in the sky and I'm about to die earlier in the movie. Because the way that she handled her like hard physical light powers was able for me to go, if you were ever falling, you would probably just like create a slide and then you'd slide, which would slow you down gradually. She had so much time in the air. I think she's good enough to do that. Her making a damsel in distress, oh, I need to be saved, wasn't to my liking. The family of Kamala Khan was great. Everyone was good. I always have a note to say about like something Islamic. There was a time where her brother was going up. Amir, what's his name? His brother was going up and he looked outside the window. He said, wow, subhanallah. And imagine a Spanish person. We're familiar with movies where some guy said, wow, ay Dios mío. He'd have just said "Adios mio," right? His initial whoa or gasp coming out in response to the magnificence would be the thing in his own language. They didn't need to dumb it down so that other people would know. It's just you don't always got to do that. But everything else was cool, like the way that the family was, and we got to know them from the show. This makes that show better. Secret Invasion is non-needed. It makes me hate Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was a story that went in a circle. He started off in the sky, and we had no idea about how he lost his mojo. He comes down, sees all these scrolls, down on his luck, finds himself, and now he's back to a complete Nick Fury. And then you get to see the movie, and none of it is mentioned. Maybe scenes were cut. There was no end credit scene after the credits. They tried to make this as short as possible so they can get enough runnings and screenings as possible to make the most amount of money. I still think that this movie would have been more enjoyable with more scenes. They could always add extras and special featurettes. You didn't see the scene behind the scene, or no, additional, what do you call it? Deleted scenes, that's the word. You can have that stuff. And I think we'll get a ton of it. I think that when Carol Danvers visits Hala, we saw like a cut of it. Was that like a fully filmed out scene? And they decided we won't do it. When she's talking, we'll just be playing that thing that we filmed. Because I would have loved this movie to start with, okay, I went to Hala, I killed the Supreme Intelligence. That needed to be part of the movie. That was probably cut. If the villain had villainous scenes, I feel like everyone just started saying her name, Darban, out of nowhere. And I was like, when did she ever introduce herself? Darban? Okay, in and out. Like, I didn't care about her. She kept calling Carol the Annihilator. Carol had a husband. She was a prince. All right, what the hell was that about? The little dancing thing where we communicate through dance. What? Oh, he's bilingual. Oh, through song, not through dance. That was a good little joke. And the ending fighting scene was okay. Kamala needed to save people, and when Carol said we have to choose, like we can't chase to save everyone, she was like disappointed. Like she just met her hero, twinsies, and you just said something like that. That made her like question for a minute, and I would rather have them explored that a little longer. The Monica and the Carol interactions and relationships hit for me. But a lot of people don't consider Monica Rambeau was in Captain Marvel 1. They don't know Akira Akbar was playing that character. I was talking to somebody one time who thought Monica Rambeau was the mother, right? Maria Rambeau in the first movie. Oh, this was like a couple years ago. People think WandaVision was her first go at it. And yes, they talked about the Hex thing. And they had that B-roll footage ready to go. It was in WandaVision. Use it again. So they educated people. Everyone was there's a big hullabaloo about Marvel Spotlight because Echo was the first Marvel Spotlight. Every movie is Marvel Spotlight. They do have new viewer-friendly material to get you educated on the thing. Some more than others. But this Marvel Spotlight is a nothing story. I would have done a video on it if I thought it was a story. It's not. Secret Invasion was easily Marvel Spotlight. It's just a thing that they decided to start using. Just like Skywalker Saga, where no one ever talked about that before until they tried to sell you on a movie. It's just a branding technique. And for everyone who's been fooled, is a complete mark. Like a mark. In wrestling, there's something called a mark, where back in the days, that's a long story, I'm not going to talk about it. Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, was most certainly Captain Marvel's movie. It had a supporting cast, including Kamala and Monica. And Nick Fury too. And the Flurkins were back, which I remember hearing Brie Larson is allergic to those cats. The Flurkins played their role. It was a good call back to the first movie. Here's the thing though, since there's so many of them hatching out of those eggs, so many Flurkins, I'm going to need to see them affect the rest of the MCU. Okay? Just like there's a Tiamat coming out, those Flurkins better be a big part of Secret Invasion. They've got their own pocket dimension inside of them. Let me figure that out. Let's figure it out. Let's go to the end credit scene, the most exciting part of this thing. Wow. I wish I could tell you that I waited, but I did not. A day before, I saw that post-credit scene on my Twitter or YouTube. I searched for it. I found it. I watched it, and I was so happy. Beast is being played by Kelsey Grammer again. Because Kevin Feige worked on those X-Men, what it confirmed to me is his inclusion of X-Men will be all those other actors you remember that he worked with from 2000 to 2006. Though they will all be back. That is the X-Men. We'll figure out a way. Maybe Monica can open another hexagonal thing. Well, I didn't even talk about the quantum bands. Who cares? You didn't need to watch the Ms. Marvel show to understand all that. She said, my grandmother gave me it. But because those are my X-Men, they'll be part of the new expanded franchise that Marvel Studios is doing. No, they're not going to reboot. It won't be back to phase 1. But in phase 7, I can expect week 6, because Deadpool's coming out. We don't know what they'll do there. We don't know what Loki is going to do to affect the Loki show will do to affect the TVA, to affect Deadpool, to affect Hexagram, portals and stuff. They may be in here before Secret War starts. We may get the X-Men. Okay, that's really nice to hear. And I would have loved to hear this earlier. This was supposed to come out in February. This was supposed to come out in July. And then it was supposed to come out in February. And then that's only because they delayed it because of the whole COVID pandemic thing. This has been delayed so many times. So now that we are getting our X-Men, I can kind of like, okay, things that I want are being fixed. Things that I want are getting there really fast. Really, not really fast, but they're finally getting there. And we're at the point now where I can have expectation. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know that we got Beast. I know we got Wolverine. So that old cast are coming. The old continuity probably isn't coming, but we can always tell ourselves that those adventures happened and they'll probably do nothing to contradict it, right? But we'll get James Marsden back as Scott Summers, Cyclops. Halle Berry, hallelujah. Storm. Some people have criticisms about that. I will never complain about Halle Berry. Legit criticism. I'm not saying that anything bad, like, they can't honor that. They have to get someone who's darker. I don't care that much. Representation things matters to me. Get out of here. I'll take my Halle Berry. I'll take all that original cast. Give me the Toad. Give me all of them. Polaris can be cast for all I care. Get her in here. And then have them link up with Kamala. Monica can introduce them to each other. Oh, and they had Binary there. So Binary is supposed to be Carol Danvers' second persona after she kind of joins the X-Men. Rogue took her powers and no. I don't know the continuity. But Carol Danvers used to go by that name also. So they just decided to throw it on Maria Rambeau. They get to keep Lashana Lynch casted in something as like a variant. Hey, it pleases a lot of people. Lashana Lynch has been in good shape. Woman King, I saw her in Multiverse of Madness. You gotta, I mean, is she a health nut or is she doing this for the roles? I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. But reward Lashana Lynch and keep her. Yeah, she did a great job. She's British and she was talking very like an American citizen back in the first movie. Woman King, a little bit of an accent of Dahomey. And people got their problems with that movie. As do I. But I paid for it. Is Chillmonger out? I think Chillmonger's out. You'll see longer videos about this. And there may be a recast T'Challa video talking about the way that the strike happened. The way that the actors won. How boycotting and withholding your dollars affects studios. As well as other things. That may be coming today. But it depends on a various amount of things that have to do with my real life. The guy behind this camera is occupied. Like Gaza. I'm going to do a Born in Gaza review, so look out for that. Born in Gaza is available on Netflix. I already watched that. Then I'm watching Farha, Farha, a story about a girl in 1948 in Palestine. I'm just in the first 15 minutes of it, but someone's trying to marry her. And her dad is like the mayor. And you're going to see the Nakba. Because what's happening right now is a new one. It is literally a genocide that we are funding with our tax dollars. We're supporting it. I'm Canadian, so we're part of this because we're doing something like, yeah, we'll bring in some refugees, come true, refugees, yeah. And that in no way, what bugs me about that, and actually this is the Marvels review. We'll keep it at the movie, okay? Thank you for watching. Gotta make sure that, the audience comes for what they come for. Free Palestine forever, though. I didn't click end. Hold on. There we go. Bye.